Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time. Robert O'Connor.
Yes.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Oh, so I'm a side interviewer. Hold on just a second.
Just get yourself comfortable. This is your
No,
show.
I didn't.
You are a hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
Explain what that is.
Well, that's what a lot of people would like to think. Actually, my start was I was trained in the military as a hypnoanesthesiologist. And
Hypnoanesthesiologist.
Yes.
Explain that to me. I think I know what it is, but...
in the military, people don't realize World War I, there were 90,000 surgeries done with hypnosis alone. In World War II, they'd surpassed 90,000 surgeries with hypnosis.
No anesthesia.
No anesthesia.
Oh,
Remember,
wow.
Before hypnosis, there was either drink or chew on a belt buckle. That's it. Or hit
Here's
your-
some whiskey and
That's
bite
it.
on this and go.
So afterwards, they realized that they created, the Green Beret units created a 5-man medical team that each person had to be able to take over every other person's job.
Okay.
So one of them jobs was the anesthesiologist. In other words, to be able to put them in an altered state so that you could do surgery on them without them feeling anything. I'll give a recent example. I got called to Salt Lake City, and there was a 83-year-old woman who needed a double radical mastectomy. And they were afraid that the anesthesia would kill her because of her age and her fragileness of her state. And I said, well, I'll fly up there. You buy, I'll fly. And so I went up there. We went through the whole surgery. The only thing, there was no pain whatsoever. She made one noise.
So you put her in some kind of hypnotic trance. Is that what you did?
It put her into an altered state.
All right. Okay.
Whatever one wants to call it, and put her into the altered state. The whole surgery was done.
You didn't hit her in the head or something?
Oh,
knock her?
no, just talk to her.
Just talk to her.
And so when it came time when I said, oh, it's time to wake up, she went to move her arms. I said, oh, don't move. I said, don't let her, she's still stitched. She was going to pull herself up. She has no pain. So you had to overcompensate to know that she has no pain, but the surgery went just fine. So that's the kind of surgeries that, are naturally called on. A friend of ours, Dr. Porter, who's head of Maricopa County Hospital, he said, one of your patients' daughter's just had a terrible car accident. You need to get in the hospital in a hurry. I said, I'm not a surgeon. What am I going to do? What's broken? She said she's in excruciating pain. That may kill her. So I walked in there, and I'm being a smart person, not really. And I'm telling all these doctors they wanted to see who this weirdo was, which is me, doing what I do. And I said, so I'm talking to the doctors, and I'm waving my finger like this. When you start waving your finger like this, she'll begin to start going into a deeply altered state, and they all state, she's gone. She's already in an altered state. You're done. What did you do? You waved your finger and she's ready for surgery? I guess. So at a certain point, pain is a very interesting thing. It requires your devotion to exist. If someone smashes this thumb, oh my God, it just hurts like crazy. But if someone smashes the other, that one stops, because we can only focus on one at a time. So part of it is switching your focus of attention. So if you're not thinking about your pain, it doesn't hurt anymore. Pain is really funny. You have to devote to it in order for it to exist.
But you use your talents to also change or alter cognitive behavior. So somebody that has a drinking problem or some kind of addiction, you're able to use your talent or hypnotherapy to alter that behavior?
I've been using substance abuse for soldiers forever. They've come, and I'm with the Soldier Mental Health Care Advocacy Council, Veterans Medical Advocacy Council. Right. A good example of here's an example of a soldier. Dr. Porter and I were given this huge conference. Christopher Reeves was there and his wife, and he just had all that back surgery, and he had spinal cord injuries from the...
Christopher Reeves, of course, plays Superman.
Yeah. And his wife was there, and we were in Mesa, and the whole International Medical Alliance was there, and Dr. Porter and I were going to give a talk on using anesthesia and hypnosis, and he's the head physician at Maricopa. And so I think, I don't know why these people are even here for us. I mean, we're so insignificant by comparison to these people. And so all of a sudden, the Christopher Reeve was done, and I said, everybody's going to leave anyhow. We won't have anybody here to listen to us. There 5,000 people stayed. And so as we started, there's a gentleman in a wheelchair with his wife in the back audience. And I said, oh shit. I hope I didn't say it loud enough for the microphone at the time. And he said, what's the matter? Do you know him? I said, yes, I know him. Well, what's the matter? He said, he's a patient of mine, or was. What I said, he said, I'm going to tell everybody what you are. Just tell them. You're the orgasm doctor. That's the last thing I wanted to hear from anybody. The majority of the audience are women.
Why would they call you the orgasm doctor?
I will tell you.
Go ahead.
I said,
tell me. Now I'm intrigued.
Now I said that you outed me. You're done. I'm going to tell everybody how I did it. They're all doctors, so they might as well know. So I said, all orgasms are stored in the brain, not in your gonads. Period. So,
you're talking just for men, though.
Yeah. Well, actually, not just for men. It's all stored in our libidos and all the varieties of different things. So, I said, if it's all right, I'm going to hypnotize both wife and husband together. So I want to hypnotize him to regress him to his first and his best, wildest orgasm. And I have all the electronic medical hospital stuff hooked up to him, so you got all the meters going all over the place, so you know what state he's in. And so he was there. He took him, and I said, so when he is in that altered state, I did a post-hypnotic suggestion. You just reach over and touch his right nipple. He'll have the same orgasm he had when he was 15 years old, because it's stored in his brain. And if people have impotency issues, I always tell them it's God's way of saying no hard feelings. I mean, somewhere along, if you really don't like women, then your ultimate revenge is to stop just before it ends. And I said, so come on, folks, this is really life. I work with human in relations. In fact, I wanted to share what I use as a format. I came here as a psychologist. And it was like, what we did is here's your Briggs-Myers. We had machines even just corrected them for us. We didn't even have to correct them anymore. And they would send them in, and then they prescribe the meds based upon what we do. I said, I didn't come here to just have sign-in sheets. And so I stopped. And so from there, well, the sign-in sheets, I was working with a women's cancer group, terminal cancer group, for 40 years. I'm 50 years now. I Can Cope group. They were my mentors. They knew cancer. And I had a 60-some% positive rate of remission of cancer. And for example, I would ask a woman, here's $100 million, unlimited wishes. You can do anything you want, but you can't give it away. A woman would almost have a heart attack. I can't give it away. Well, they want to buy their approval. Somehow, are you going to give it away? These women wouldn't. Here's these questions. They said, I want you to imagine you've just been given $100 million. The money is to represent unlimited wealth. However, there are 4 restrictions that limit the way the money may be spent. You cannot give it away. It is to be spent on your personal wishes, hopes, and dreams and projects. For your immediate family, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and children, you may give them a $50,000 a year trust for life, or you may not. If you choose to donate a portion of this money to a charity, it must be one for which you spend at least 40 hours per week and 50 weeks per year in personal and direct involvement. How would you spend this money? There is no time limit. One question. Why? Because the ladies needed to know.
Here's the thing. You know, sometimes I just have to push play and people just go. And that's the case with you. First of all, a couple of observations. One, when you're talking about the orgasm, the altered state and everything else, you're kind of like describing what happened to me like about a week ago, which is cool. Number 2.
I didn't even know I wasn't even there. Not guilty, Your Honor.
And number two, this is about your journey. And entrepreneurship is about storytelling. And you're a great storyteller.
I got a lot of stories.
You got a lot of stories. That's why we're going to have to come bring you back to the show. Because we only have like 10, 12 minutes, and we've got a few folks that we want to interview today. So will you promise to come
I'll
back?
stay on that first question.
Go ahead.
Because it's
Answer
important.
that. That's the build-up to answer the first question. And we wrap.
The reason they say you can't give it away
Yes.
is because already studies know that if you give a child $50,000 a year, they will be drug addicts. They will be useless misfits within a short amount of time. If they have no self-esteem, it's no different than when I walk into Sheriff Joe's place, he's no longer there. The kids would all be asking me, "Do you got any of them self-esteem pills, Doc?" I said, self-esteem comes from one thing, doing something that you're proud of in your heart repeatedly and nothing else. Nothing else gives it to you. Somebody tells you how wonderful you are, well, why would you believe it? They want something. I mean, that doesn't tell you anything.
All right, let's go to the rest.
Real quick, how would you spend the money? You can't give it away, da-dum-da-dum. The reason you can't give it away, the suicide rate, for people, the higher the income rate, the higher the suicide rate. Why? Because when people come to a rich person's house, they don't come because they want friendship, they come because they want something. So the suicide, they know anybody that comes to their door. So I'm constantly working with very wealthy people we would think have no problems, but yet they don't have any friends. So somewhere along the line they need some social skills.
Do you have any problems?
I have all kinds of them.
What's your biggest problem?
My biggest problem, I'm working with dentists right now. I had Agent Orange, I had all gold crowns. With Agent Orange, it decided to dissolve all the root systems.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Next time you go see the doctor, you call me, I'll put you in this altered state, and you won't need any anesthesia. I guarantee
still
you.
don't.
You have no pain.
I went through my appendectomy with no anesthesia.
You're too much, man. We got to get out of here.
But I practiced it.
Listen, we got to get out of here, but you're going to have to come back and tell us a lot more about this and many other stories. You're a great storyteller. You could have just a show just for yourself. You know that.
I will leave with this Christmas
Please.
poem.
Go.
And that was a request.
Yes.
I wrote it at 8 years old. 'Tis the season to give, this we all know. But is it true giving or just for show? As I sat pondering the gifts for the year, a thought came to me. Do you wish to hear from presence to presence? Can you now see the presence I should be giving is the presence in me? The Christ that dwells in the heavenly manger, why is he to me such a stranger? So deep within me the infant is dwelling. Is this all been hidden by an error in spelling? No longer is he bound by one solitary word. I'll shout from the rooftops, my voice will be heard. So practice the presence. Soon you'll see, I'll see him in you and you'll see him in me. Please give so freely of this heavenly essence, for is not the Christ the present of presence? And so that's all it is. That's the core of it. And I'd like to know more about you guys and see what you do, because and you're both very interesting.
Well, I tell you what, you should subscribe to our channel. Great.
I will be on it. I wrote
Entrepreneurs
the,
of
I
Fuego
wrote the
channel,
numbers
subscribe
down
over
when I
there.
was in the room.
We have over 500 and plus interviews and just a bunch of good stuff. Man, you're just a fount of information. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, that's right.
I got to take us out with that. We're out.